Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Rip Curl Fbomb wetsuit, winter wetsuit for 2010 into 2011. I'm going to kill two birds with one stone here and just talk to you about the hooded Fbomb and the regular Fbomb as well. Obviously the only real difference between the two being that the hooded Fbomb has a built-in hood and is a little bit thicker as well for really people that feel the cold a lot, and for the sort of colder waters, maybe up north and into Scotland, for you guys like that. Okay, the primary difference between the Fbomb and the E-bomb, which is a question we get asked quite a lot, is the E-bomb, which is the more flexible brother of the Fbomb wetsuit, is really geared up towards performance, complete flexibility, and people that really don't like wearing wetsuits or want optimum flexibility in the suit, but perhaps don't care too much about warmth. Obviously care about warmth and want to stay warm, but it's less of a priority than flexibility. The Fbomb is made from the same material, so it's 100% E3 neoprene, which is the lightest grade neoprene on the market. Really stretchy, comfortable, sticks to your body well and moves with your body well. But what you lack on the E-bomb, things like thermal lining and liquid taping that make the suit a bit more restrictive and a bit heavier, you get in the Fbomb, which obviously makes it a lot warmer and for people that feel the cold. Running through some of the other features of the wetsuit. With the Fbomb you do get a smooth skin chest panel as well. The smooth skin is specially treated neoprene to keep the wind out of the suit. Don't get that on the E-bomb. You also get it around the back of the suit as well, around the kidneys in this area here. Okay. The liquid taping basically completely seals off the seams. So to run through how the seams are made, they are glued and blind stitched initially. So what that does is actually seals the seams together. You can sort of see that there. They glue the seams together first and foremost, and then once they're glued together, they stitch them halfway through, so there's no punch holes going the whole way through the suit. And then with this particular suit, because it's a high-end suit, you get the liquid taping on the outside as well, which really reinforces the seams to make sure the suit is completely watertight and also makes it more durable and gives the suit a longer shelf life. If you look, the liquid taping doesn't restrict the movement of the suit at all, so you still get loads of flexibility running the whole way through, which will allow completely fantastic movement within the suit and allows it to stick to your body very well and move with your body. But it also means that the seams are completely watertight. So in essence, when you actually take the suit off after you've been in the water, you should be damp at best but not wet. Some people even come out pretty much almost dry skin basically, so that's how well the suits are actually sealed these days, and obviously that goes a long way to keeping you warmer, gives you a longer time in the water as well. Okay. Further down on the knee, the regular sort of material that most companies are using these days, you get a Duraflex knee pad. The Duraflex is just a robust material they use around the knees because obviously that's a most common wearing point on the wetsuit. So to stop that happening, they use this nice durable material. You do get a stash pocket on the outside of the suit as well. Obviously it's great for keys that aren't electronic, house keys, that kind of stuff. So you can always pop that in there. People find that very useful. And also you get the smooth skin on the collar, which is a usual feature of the Fbomb wetsuit. Difference between this year's Fbomb and last year's Fbomb is they do say that this year's neoprene is more flexible, even more flexible than your regular E3, and more quick drying as well. So obviously that means that it's less chance of you having to get into a cold, wet wetsuit in the winter months. So that is a nice little feature and a nice claim from Rip Curl. I think it's different between last year's Fbomb and this year's Fbomb as well is the chest zip system. Fantastic chest zip system on this wetsuit. It's completely sealed the whole way round. Okay, so there's no way any water can get into the wetsuit aside from this slight side panel around the shoulder here. Typical with most high-end chest zip systems, this is completely sealed off. The only area it connects is just here. So we unzip the wetsuit and the flap comes down here. The two pieces of neoprene marry up perfectly over the top of the zip to stop any water getting through. However, if any water does come in through here or up the side, then it's actually greeted with the inside of the wetsuit here. Cut very high to ensure that no water is actually going to get up into the collar and into the wetsuit and make you cold. Any water that does get into the suit basically will be carried out here and out the side of the chest zip system, or around the back and out through this little drain hole on the back of the suit here. Okay, so it's a fantastic chest zip entry system. It makes it quite hard to get into the actual wetsuit, but basically the harder it is to get into, the easier, or the better it's going to keep water out as well. So it's worth sort of taking the time to get in and out of the wetsuit to stay warmer and to stay drier. Okay, so that's the chest zip system, which is unique to this year's Fbomb. Okay, chest zips are becoming more and more popular primarily because they get rid of the need for a zip on the back, which gives you greater freedom and mobility in the back of the suit, but also because they create a better seal around your neck and they are kind of more effective in terms of keeping water out of the suit when you duck dive or when you fall off, because there's a better seal around the neck. Okay, and it's very, very hard for any water to get in to the wetsuit at all. Okay, so if we open the wetsuit up, turn it inside out a little bit, just to demonstrate what's happening on the inside of the wetsuit. This is where the Fbomb becomes a lot warmer than the E-bomb. All that grey material which runs the whole way through is the E3 neoprene, and the red material is Rip Curl's polypro material. When we say polypro, we basically mean a thermal lining. It's a thermal material, just the same as like thermal underwear basically, which has heat retaining properties. So with a standard wetsuit without this, as you lose heat from your body, it's not as effective in keeping that heat within the wetsuit. A suit like this red material will hold that heat into your core area. Okay, it's really good at retaining the heat within the wetsuit and keeping you much, much warmer. Very generous amounts of this thermal lining within the Fbomb. It's right the way through the back of the wetsuit, back panel, but more importantly right through the front, right down to the knee on this wetsuit. So it's going to be fantastic at keeping you really warm all the way down to your legs. There shouldn't be any reason why you get cold. On the key points where the stress points are on the wetsuit, they do tape it. They're very sort of industrial taping here to make sure that the suit gets a long shelf life. Yeah, it's not going to fall apart, the stitching's not going to come apart at all. Rip Curl wetsuits are fantastic. That's staying together in one piece, and hopefully people that are out there that have bought them have had a positive experience with the wetsuits not falling apart and lasting a good amount of time. That essentially is everything going on with the Fbomb. Very flexible, very warm, top of the line wetsuit. With the new chest zip for this year. The only difference between this and the hooded Fbomb is literally the thickness. This is a 5'4". Okay, so you're going to be slightly more restricted in terms of the thickness of the neoprene. So it's not going to be as flexible as the 5'3" for obvious reasons, because the arms and the shoulders are 4mm of neoprene, but that is going to give you additional warmth within the wetsuit. And obviously you've got a built-in hood as well, which is a fire-lined or polypro lined hood. And nice and thick as well, so that's really going to keep you very warm in the depths of winter. So for those people that feel the cold a lot or are surfing really cold waters further up north where the temperatures get a bit lower, or in countries with quite cold water, or if your preference is just to have a hood and a thicker wetsuit, then you do have this option. Slightly more expensive for obvious reasons, but essentially pretty much the same in terms of construction and technical specification with the regular Fbomb. Okay, so that's everything about the Fbomb wetsuits for this year, 2010-2011. Always a contender for one of the warmest and most flexible wetsuits on the market. And for people that want to try it for the first time, you won't be disappointed. And for people that are sort of quite keen to keep sticking with the Fbomb wetsuits, then you'll definitely be pleased with the improvements they've made on this suit from last year.